After learning Todd and Julie Chrisley were collectively sentenced to 19 years behind bars, fans wondered if the married couple would be able to communicate. After all, it tends to be standard practice that inmates at different facilities are barred from communicating. Many fans and some legal experts, however, assumed some exceptions would be made because Todd and Julie are a legally married couple. Turns out the first few weeks of their stint were rough, as Todd and Julie Chrisley were barred from any form of communication. Their daughter Savannah, however, confirmed Todd and Julie did get approval to communicate via email. She recalled listening to her father choke up with tears as he told her they got approved to email each other. Unable to visit each other in person for obvious reasons, fans wondered if video calls or phone calls are on the table. Fortunately, Savannah did go into details about their communication on her podcast. Todd and Julie Chrisley were barred from phone calls. Unfortunately, Savannah Chrisley confirmed during a recent episode of her podcast that Todd and Julie are not allowed to communicate via phone. Because they are married, an exception was made so the couple could talk via email. But they will not be allowed to communicate via phone until Julie completes her sentence, because it is shorter than Todd's. Sadly, this means Todd and Julie will go at least 7 years without speaking on the phone. Could she get out early for good behavior? Now, because Todd and Julie Chrisley are in federal prison, getting out early for good behavior isn't really a common practice. In fact, legally, Julie will have to serve 85% of her sentence before an early release for good behavior could even be considered. A large chunk of the time, the entire sentence is completed before an early release for good behavior is approved. On Reddit, fans of Chrisley Knows best agree it isn't too much of a surprise that they cannot communicate on the phone with each other because prison phone calls happen when the inmate calls the family member, not vice versa. So there would be no way for Todd to call Julie or Julie to call Todd. Other fans point out that cell phones are extremely common contraband, so Todd and Julie could still find a way to communicate with each other. Other fans, however, argue getting busted with contraband isn't worth the risk of adding more time to their sentences. How do you feel knowing Todd and Julie can't talk on the phone for 7 years? Let us know in the comments down below. And keep coming back for more Chrisley News.